Hey now, blokes, can you imagine living out your ultimate boyhood fantasy? You get to jet set to exotic locations anywhere in the world. You can drive like an absolute lunatic in someone else's expensive car. Slip into the cot with some of the world's most gorgeous women.
Was it something I said?
And best of all, you get a chance to blow a lot of things up. You can't imagine all that? Well, neither could Pierce Brosnan 20 years ago when he worked as a cleaner with Domestics Unlimited in London. Today, he's the most vital link in a $300 million juggernaut. The most complicated, the most expensive, the most ambitious Bond film ever made.
I never believe what I read in the press anyway.
I'm into the cockpit here, have a fight with the pilot. Taxiing the plane round on full bore. A race round behind Bond with a truck here, and he'll just give it full bore on his afterburners and blow this whole truck and people over.
So join us as we take you behind the scenes of Tomorrow Never Dies, the latest action thriller from the world's smoothest super spy and international transman.
Bond.
Thailand, just one of the 6 countries spanning every time zone around the world, which supply the backdrop for the latest James Bond extravaganza.
It took a long time to convince the producers actually to let me go on the bike because, you know, with the insurance and all that, it's too dangerous. They don't want anything to happen to you, you know. But when I'm there, you know, Pierce and I are like, we should go for it. But Roger is very smart. It's like, cut. We're not letting them even try. Don't even think about it, girls and boys.
So, with more safety-conscious minds prevailing over the boys and girls, stunt driver Jean-Pierre Goy goes through the final paces of what is to be just one element, a few frames of film in the chase scene through the streets of Bangkok.
We were going to do that in a computer, in fact, and then we have this great driver, this French driver, and he said, no, I want to do it. We all cringed.
And for good reason. Apart from the obvious dangers associated with a jump like this, Jean-Pierre has to contend with the added possibility that the exhaust from his tailpipe could ignite the mountain of cardboard boxes stacked at the other end of this breathtaking leap.
Get on the back of the bike.
What? You trying to protect me?
No, I need to balance the bike. Get on the back. You ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Go!
Pop the clutch.
But it's not all high-tech mucking about, chase scenes, shootouts and martial arts in this, the 18th Bond epic. Brosnan is back, and so is she who must be obeyed, his new politically correct boss, M, played by the redoubtable Dame Judi Dench.
Although it is very tongue-in-the-cheek, as all the films are really, but it's quite difficult to play a woman who is so much in authority. We investigate and stop short of sending the entire British Navy within 10 minutes of the world's largest air force. In a kind of feminine way, I suppose. But I've got some jolly nice lines to say, and I try and make it fit in with my idea of what I think she's like.
With all due respect, Em, sometimes I don't think you have the balls for this job.
Perhaps. But the advantage is I don't have to think with them all the time.
James? Where are you?
Also back is the vivaciously independent yet ever-loyal Miss Moneypenny, played by Samantha Bond. As usual, she seems to know him better than he does.
We're sending the fleet to China.
Uh-huh. I'll be there in an hour.
Make that 30 minutes.
So means good.
You always were a cunning linguist, James.
I was once having coffee with a girlfriend in Richmond, which is near where I live. And apparently I was completely oblivious to it. The woman sitting beside me was literally going, what now? And you want to say, haven't you recognized me? I'm looking like a tired mother with no makeup on. But they do.
Now.
Draw your finger very slowly across the pad to drive the car.
And the wonderful Desmond Llewellyn returns for the 16th time as Q.
It's surprisingly difficult to drive, but with practice...
Well, let's see how...
When I arrived, Terence asked me how I was going to play it. And I said, you know, just ordinarily. And he said, well, now, I think you should play it as a Welshman. I disagreed with him completely. And we had a hell of an argument. But I won.
On the side here, flat throwing knife. Press that button there. Now she comes.
As I explained to him, do you want it like this? Look, this lovely case I got here, I just press a button and out comes a knife. He said, no, you're quite right.
Of course, no Bond film is complete without a good villain. The megalomaniac head of the Carver media empire is played with barely concealed relish by Jonathan Pryce.
Let the mayhem begin. It's very nice to have a character who shows the audience anyway, a public side and a private side. And it's unusual in this kind of characters. The public side is enigmatic and charming, and the private side is evil.
According to Eastern philosophy, the body has 7 chakra points, the energy centers like the heart or genitals. The purpose of these implements is to probe those organs, inflicting the maximum amount of pain, whilst keeping the victim alive for as long as possible.
I would have thought watching your TV shows was torture enough.
Save this one till last. When you remove Mr. Bond's heart, there should just be enough time for him to watch it stop beating.
James Bond, 007, is of course the world's most super suave English gentleman. So how come the 2 most successful people to play him have been a Scot, Sean Connery, and an Irishman, Pierce Brosnan? After the break, we'll see if we can find the answers.
I'm particularly proud of the remote control for your car.
I think we understand each other.
Grow up, 007.
Are you ever going to grow up?
Me, I hope not.
Trust me.
It's like this great toy shop and this man giving you things to play with.
There, it was like the tank sequence in GoldenEye. You know, people said, what was it like driving the tank? I didn't drive the bloody tank. The guy on the other side drove the tank. Yeah. You can't drive those tanks from the right-hand side, so I just sit in there in a little wooden box, going like this.
Who's driving the BMW?
Well, I do, but they devised a rig, because it's supposed to be a remote control car. They have a stunt guy. The stunt guys, they built it so they stretch the pedals out, the accelerator and everything like this, so the stunt guy sits way down at the back, so you can't see him. He's practically lying down. So that's how he did that, and the rest of it is all chopped up into bits and pieces.
I know it's private and it probably hurts to talk too much about Cassie now, but we're very proud that you married an Australian, or we always have been, and she was very much part of your life. But she really was instrumental, largely, in this whole Bond phenomenon, wasn't it?
She did a Bond movie, and that's how it came into my life.
What exactly did Columbo whisper to you?
That you're a spy, to find out more about you.
And have you?
Have I ever?
And so over the years when they were looking for this character, well, life then went to America. You know, you fast forward and I'm doing Remington Steele and then they're looking for James Bond after Roger Moore, and they offered it to me in '86.
I think one of the things that endears you to a lot of people is that you, despite this incredibly suave, heroic Bond image, you don't mind the piss take as well. You'll play roles that, I'm thinking of Mrs. Doubtfire, and I think of the Muppets, and I think things that, and it's pretty important, isn't it, to have...
I think so. Otherwise, you know, it's the joys of being an actor, really.
What can I say, Ron? The guy's a loser. I'll see you.
Loser. Yeah.
Oh, sir, I saw it. Some angry member of the kitchen staff. Did you not tip them? Oh, the terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting. I'll get them, sir. Don't worry.
And I'm not taking the piss out of myself or anything like that. I mean, I can take the piss out of myself, and other people certainly can do that, you know, at their leisure if they wish.
Ah, champagne.
No, wait, that's a prop.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
I actually burnt my bloody mouth on the Muppets that time.
Did you?
Oh,
the Muppets was wonderful.
They had no idea. Well, they said to me, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't sing or dance, but I mentioned the fire eating. And they said, great. So the day we came to do it, you do it with kerosene. And I took a mouthful of kerosene, and this huge flame came out, and it was brilliant. And they said, okay, let's go for a take. I said, great. And I went back over, and the prop man said, here, I've got other stuff here. It's much cleaner. There's no smell. There's no taste. It's excellent. It was such high-octane fuel. So I blew, and the thing came right back into my mouth. So when you see that shot of me going...
That's real.
Oh, yeah.
It feels hot. Hot. Hey, good musical segue. Hit it. Yeah. Do it, Biz. Oh, yeah. I'm doing it, Clifford. I'm doing it just for you.
Now, 007, I'm afraid I have to say this time you've gone too far. You've destroyed a media proprietor.
Great men have always manipulated the media to save the world. Look at William Randolph Hearst, who told his photographers, you provide the pictures, I'll provide the wall.
Oh, I think we've been very appropriate, actually. I think we're right on the money with this one, you know?
I've just taken it one step further.
Sorry about that. I tuned out there for a moment, Elliot.
They've picked a good villain.
Yes, he is. He's sort of an amalgam of a lot of the things that have become unattractive.
Yeah, well, the media is really, you know, this camera and the media itself is very powerful, and it can be used, you know, in constructive ways or very deconstructive ways, as we've seen in the last year, you know, in a Paris tunnel.
Mr. Wallace, call the president. Tell him if he doesn't sign the bill doubling the telephone rates, we'll release the video of him with the cheerleader in the Chicago motel room.
Inspired, sir.
And after he signs the bill, release the tape anyway.
Consider him slimed.
When we come back, I'll talk with the man who was just 10 years old when he first saw Sean Connery playing Bond and has now become as popular and famous worldwide as he is.
Every time.
Station.
Back is the goal.
Mr. Bond, all my life I've been in love with its color, its brilliance, its divine heaviness. I welcome any enterprise that will increase my stock, which is considerable.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration.
Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last.
Connery is, you know, a great Bond. I was smitten by the movies, and I was intrigued and fascinated, and just fell in love with the whole aspect of movie making.
This is one of the great ironies, of course, that the epitome of the English gentleman, Bond 007, is played successfully, really, extremely successfully by only two, and that's a Scotsman and an Irishman.
It's good, isn't it?
James. Did I get too close? Did I get too close for comfort?
Is Bond in danger, do you think, of becoming too politically correct?
Yes. Like it's the smoking issue. You know, there's a sequence in this movie where it's just crying out for a fag, really. You know, he's sitting there, it's moody, he's got the Walther PPK, he's waiting for the bird to come through the door.
So he can't smoke anymore.
No, I could have. I said, look, you know, a cigarette would be great. And they said, no, if you want to smoke, go ahead and smoke. It was up to me.
Yeah.
And then I just said, no, why do it? Because the kids are going to watch this film.
Filthy habit.
I mean, there's a part of me that would love to take that restriction off it, so you could really open up and just, you know, see this guy really go at it, whether he'd be killing somebody or he's in the sack with some woman.
Really go at it. You really yearn to go at it, do you?
You have to go at it? Well, it's nice to go at it in certain ways.
Yes, yes.
But you know, it's PG, so you can only tease and cajole so much within a Bond movie, and the blood is not real.
Action.
And cut. That was it, my gun jammed. I don't always say bang, bang, bang.
Bond, as we all know, has had more beautiful women than the rest of us have had hot dinners. And for this latest instalment, Bond's love interest doubles as his partner. She's played by 35-year-old Michelle Yeoh, a veteran of numerous Hong Kong action flicks, starring with people like Jackie Chan. In Tomorrow Never Dies, she is Chinese agent Wei Lin, who's not totally enamoured with her choice of partner. Here, she prepares for a carefully choreographed fight scene with the famous Hong Kong director, Phil Kwok.
Out of respect to the people you work, especially with the Stunt boys, because when you fight with them, you have to be accurate where you punch them or you kick them. And when you're fit, your rhythm, your timing, you're very alert.
Meanwhile, next door, on an adjoining soundstage, our hero is using slightly more conventional methods to deal with his adversary.
In a soundproof room, nobody hears you scream. Herr Stamper.
In a sense, however, it is exactly events
Make
like
him
these
uncomfortable.
that cause me to create
I'll be there in a few moments.
Every single person got its bad sides and its black sides. And I think it's fun to look where they are and express them and show them to the camera.
It's over, Stamper. Let her go.
The water sequences was tough only because I'd never acted underwater before. And you have respirators, and there's a sequence where Bond saves Wei Lin. She's running out of oxygen, she's down there, she's in chains. So as actors, we go down, we have a mask on, we have a respirator. You take the mask, you have a speaker that goes under the water, so you can hear the direction from up on high. But you have to hold your breath, because when you breathe out, your bubbles make a noise, so you...
Turn towards the missiles. Turn towards the missiles.
There you have this thing stuck in your mouth, and you're like... and someone is talking to you under the water, going, you know, can you move right? Don't breathe so much. It's like, excuse me, don't blow so many bubbles. Hello? What are you on about?
Pathetic.
Bond here. Absolutely disgraceful.
It's going to be Bond forever.
What the hell is he doing? His job.
No, 007.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our sneak preview, behind-the-scenes look at the latest Bond blockbuster, Tomorrow Never Dies. No prizes for guessing that Pierce Brosnan doesn't die in this one. He can't. He's contracted for the next 2 Bond movies, and the next one's tipped to be set in Sydney. So stay tuned for the latest movie, which literally explodes onto our screens on December 26, Boxing Day. In the meantime, it's good night from me, Luck. Peter Luck.
I'll be Bond number 5. I'll be whatever, however I'll be remembered.